Hello friends, I would like to show you our school. This is our school signboard. Inside of our school, friends, this is a solar school. You can see our solar. This is all beautiful. You can see the flowers. It's a green school. We would like to show you the computer lab. Hello teacher. Yes, this is the computer lab. You can see all the kids are learning different programs. So, hello Isanda, what are you doing?
I'm listening to soccer.
Yes. What would you like to say about Taj family?
Long live Taj family.
Hello? Yes, what would you like to?
Thank you, Mama Line for seed.
Yes, Mr. Hussain.
Mama Line, you are so kind.
I will support you and the Taj family, and we are proud to be working with you and also working under your leadership. Thank you so much.
Hello, I am Dr. PPP. I am the Celebrity Guru Award-winning author of the book, You Are the Celebrity. I am the marathon man who ran only 13 marathons by God's grace and your blessing. I am the Himalayas Guru climbing the Everest, the Himalayas by God's grace and your blessing. If the Celebrity Guru can ride, so can you. If the marathon man can run, so can you. If the Himalayas Guru can climb, so can you. Life is a movie, you are the celebrity. Life is a celebration, you are the celebrity. Life is a marathon, you are the marathoner. Life is a book, you are the author. Life is a mountain, you are the mountaineer. I am the torch king, who also representing towards all the four pillars from last year up to now, which are peace, health, environment, and technology. And I'm humbled, honored, privileged, blessed, and super excited to introduce you, my soul brother, the man who knows spirituality from inside out. That man been to India for so many months, and none other than my favorite one, the man who dated two Bollywood actresses. Yes, that's right. Dimple Kapadia and Simple Kapadia. Simple Kapadia, rest in peace. And Dimple Kapadia, the lady who married with Rajesh Khanna, the first superstar of Bollywood. So without further ado, help me welcome at Torch Peace annual fourth annual event, none other than Kurt Kruger from all the way from California, United States of America. Welcome, brother.
Namaste, aap kaisa hai? Always good to see you, Pravin. I'm so blessed to be here to offer what we have to offer for peace and prosperity for all, for a thriving planet. If I may have to switch back into the house because I'm outside in my back porch, and the lighting went out here on the outside, but at least it's a beautiful sunset here in California. I live just north of Los Angeles, and I've been blessed to teach in the ghettos of Los Angeles and allow people to grow and thrive wherever they are. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, we can actually transform life to grow together. Nature, everybody as nature, because that's what we are. There's nothing that is not God, and there's this beautiful experience that He's given us with the beauty and the pain. Now, there's going to be pain sometime in this reality. That doesn't mean we have to suffer. The Buddha taught some really, really useful tools about not having to suffer. And there's some incredible people around the world in all different cultures have basically experienced the same thing, not having to suffer, not having to be able to live a life that is not thriving and in harmony. I mean, Prince Charles wrote a book on harmony, and it's a very good book because it doesn't just deal with music. It deals with the harmony of architecture. It deals with the harmony between nature, and that follows the Tao. And Taoism is an incredible philosophy. And when we follow the essence of life, the thing that is basically love, love is the essence of every single religion. And when we follow that, we treat each other with respect and love. This is how a teacher of mine, Swami Muktananda, he said, I welcome you all with great respect and love. Every time he gave a talk. And without respect and without love, then we can fall into something that doesn't feel good. And if I'm going to give you a tool, if you don't feel right, if something doesn't feel good in your heart and somebody's saying something that is unkind or doesn't feel right, say ouch. And immediately somebody's going to stop and say, what happened? And when they stop, you can say, excuse me, I need to breathe a little bit. I need to be able to get centered. I need to maybe say, I'm not feeling right. Can you help me? Ask for help. Ask for that so that we can have more peace. And when we have more peace, what happens? We are allowed to be able to come into reality, the reality of calmness. That in the upper right-hand corner right now on the screen is the Peace Lab logo. And it looks like a labyrinth with a peace sign on it. And that's how peace is. Sometimes it flows and goes easily, and then sometimes it'll switch back. But it all goes to the center. And when we get centered, we can walk out of that labyrinth feeling more peaceful. And we walk into life feeling more peaceful. All it takes is a simple little practice. And we have so many practices that the Peace Lab offers people. And we don't just offer that. We ask you to be able to start bringing it forth in your life from a simple smile like Pravin. Pravin has an incredible smile. He's only a few hundred years old, but I'm only 94,000 years old. But, we're young people just like you are. Everybody else is young. Some of us have white beards. I called students that were anywhere from 11 years old up to 15 or 20 or 30 or 80 years old. I called them viejitos. Viejito in Spanish means little old man. Now, 11-year-olds would say, no, you're old. And I'd say, wait a minute. When you were 3 years old and you looked up to somebody your age, 11 years old, you thought they were old. And that's true. It's all Kruger's theory of relativity. Einstein had his theory of relativity. Kruger has his. So we can live life in a joyous way. We can always look on the bright side of life. And when we look on the bright side of life, what do we get? a brighter feeling. And when we have a better feeling, do we have a higher immune system? Do we think a lot easily and clearly? As opposed to if we look on the dark side, do we feel depressed? Do we feel sad? Do we feel like things aren't good? Is our immune system higher or lower? So if you want a higher immune system, when you want a higher immune system and you want a better life, look on the bright side of life. Look at that Monty Python movie. It's a fantastic movie. A guy's hanging on the bloody cross. And he's singing a song, always look on the bright side of life. And you feel better. You may die, just like me on a hijacked airplane. I could have died. I chose to get into the deepest state of meditation. No, I don't know if I chose that. I did the practice that would get me into the state of meditation. And when you practice works when you work it. And this is what we get to do. So I can actually offer you what I've done periodically in this Peace Lab week that we have here on Towards Peace, to be able to do a practice called Peacemaker Meditation. So if you will, please join me. Put your hands straight out in front of you, like as if you're holding a tray. Lean forward slightly. And as you're ready to breathe in, bring your hands towards your chest and mentally or out loud say, peace in everything, everything with peace. Peace in everything. Yes, you can do it right with me. Everything with peace. Peace in everything, everything with peace. And as we breathe in, all that inside is more peaceful. And everything with peace. Everything outside is peaceful. Peace in everything, everything with peace. And we do this just 3 to 5 times. Anytime during the day when you feel stressed out. Peace in everything, everything with peace. It becomes a muscle memory because we're doing a psychosomatic spiritual practice. The psycho part is not that you're crazy. It's that you're repeating peace in everything, everything with peace. And that mental attitude gets to be in our mind more and more. And as we say peace in everything, everything with peace, it becomes more and more of our reality. And our immune system is bigger and higher and stronger. The people feel those good vibes that we offer them. And we feel the good energy. Simple practice, peace in everything, everything with peace. Now, because we've done this for a couple minutes, we feel calmer. Because when the breath calms down, which is a simple slow motion of peace in everything, everything with peace, what happens? The heart rate calms down. When the heart rate calms down, the brain waves calm down. So we're getting into more and more of a calm state of being. We are resonating. We are vibrating with that peace. And so what happens? That vibration is felt by others. And research has proven throughout the 50 years of research in people meditating, when enough people gather together and meditate together, there's less accidents, there's less violence, there's less suicides, and so on. It's magical. So we can create magic. And what can't you do when you decide to do it? We've gotten to the moon. We can create peace. There's something called the Peace Lab, and you can see the Peace Lab on othernetworks.org/peace_lab. And when you look at that, you can add your ideas for bringing about peace. You can add your contributions of, it could be money if you'd like to donate some money. It could be that you donate your expertise. You can give ideas on how and where people can bring peace to life, whether it's through bringing living values that live in life everywhere. Everybody values love, which brings peace, which brings respect, which brings responsibility, which brings care, which brings life to life. And we can all thrive with no issue at all in being able to be so different in life when we decide to be that peace. Peace in everything, everything with peace. What can't we do? And if anybody has any questions, I'm not sure if I can see this, but Viktor Frankl, he wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning. And he was a person who was incarcerated. He was in a concentration camp by the Germans because he was a Jew, because he had a certain religion. And some people denigrate that religion. People think it's horrible. And other people think it's wonderful. We all have a different view of life. And that's why Rama's guru said to Rama before he went over to take over the kingdom, in answer to his question, what is your highest teaching? Vashishta said to Rama, God, according to Hindus, the world is as you see it. So we can see this concentration camp only as horrible, but we can see people doing what they are guided to do as best they can do it in that situation. Read A Man's Search for Meaning. You will see a wondrous book. And it's like Sri Aurobindo in India. He was a freedom fighter. He was put into a little box he couldn't even stand up in. And they had a little slit at the bottom where they fed him once a day. He used that time to get enlightened, to meditate, to contemplate, to understand who he was, that he was not just this body. He was a child of God. He was able to then commune with God. Why? Because he stopped his mind from thinking. And God said, you're ready to listen. You can hear me. I can speak because you're not talking. That's why people meditate. Now, some people will meditate to de-stress. Some people will meditate to be peak performers because that's the state of mind. Because I have the Institute of Sports Psychology. I've taught sports psychology all over the world on 5 continents to professional athletes. Mark Jackson was not only an all-pro basketball player in America, he was a coach of a championship team in the NBA. And I gave a program for him, and it was all about meditation. But it also works for incarceration, for people in prisons. People in prisons. They're inside, like Sri Aurobindo was, like Viktor Frankl was. They're in prison, and they can get enlightened instead of suffer. They can get to be able to know who they are instead of suffer. They can come out changed. Viktor Frankl became a great psychologist after his experience of horror. Horror. When you read his book, you can understand what horror is. So what can we do? We can choose to change our life. We can choose to have peace in everything with peace. We give the best that we have to give to others. I was on a call today with a person who had a horrible experience in her life, absolutely horrible. When she was 3 years old, her father sexually abused her. That is a horrible experience when you look at it that way. When you have nobody to hear you, when you have nobody to share what you experience. But when people heard her express this horrible experience that was like 70 years before that, before now, when people heard her, she could be soothed. She could be felt that she had been heard, and her heart was able to release some of that pain. And I gave her a book to refer to, not Viktor Frankl's. I referred her to an ancient wisdom person, a person called Anita Sood. Excuse me, not Anita Sood. She was an Arjuna Award winner in India. Anita Sanchez. Anita Sanchez wrote a book called The Four Sacred Truths. And the first one is forgiving the unforgivable. Now, if you think that's an unforgivable thing, what happened to this young lady who's now very old? Well, not very old. She's very young. She's only 73. What happened? She could be healed. But a worse thing is what happened to a man who expressed himself having a much more difficult experience to have. But the person who forgave him for doing even worse than what happened to him, this woman forgave him. The most unforgivable thing I could imagine. Imagine having your child killed and your not only your child killed, your grandchild killed by this person. And she was able to forgive him. And I remember something Desmond Tutu, he was running the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. It was done in South Africa to reconcile people who did horrible things in apartheid. This woman was standing in the court with the person she accused of beating her husband and son to death in front of her and then lighting them a fire, burning them in front of her. And the judge asked her, what would give you relief and justice? She said, I want you, this man who did this, I want you to come to my home every month for a weekend so that I can give you the love I cannot give my husband and child. But first, we have to go to where you killed and burnt my family, and we will get the ashes and we will give them a burial. This man across the court collapsed with this incredible gift of love. How could this person do it? When you believe there is a God and you believe God is love, when you give love, you act more like God. Experiment with what the teachings are. Don't buy into what the society teaches. If you buy into the society in America, we imprison more people in the world than any other country in the world. We punish them. We don't care about rehabilitating them. We don't care about them getting better. I gave a program when I was teaching at Stockholm University in the 1983 to the Swedish prison wardens and priests. They use meditation now in the prisons in the Scandinavian countries because meditation is like cleans your bad stuff out, like what we call a cosmic Roto-Rooter. Roto-Rooter cleans toilet lines out to the septic tank or out to the sewers. They clean it. They get the shit out. Excuse me. I would say chit because chit means energy, and that is also energy. That's in Sanskrit, though. When you get that chit out, what is left? Purity. There's a quote in Sanskrit. I love this quote. It's one of the more famous quotes in Sanskrit. Om Purnamada Purnambudat Purnambudachate Purnasha Purnambadaya Purnamiva Vashishate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. That means that is perfect. This is perfect. From the perfect, all that remains is perfect. Now it's getting darker out here. I get to go inside right now. It's going to be a little dark, but I'll be able to speak and maybe you can see me. God willing, everything's going to work in the right way. Let me have a little sip. I'm still here, so we can talk, and I'll even plug in to the light, and you can see me better, and everything is better. There, how's that? Thank you for being patient. So again, it's like being peaceful, and that's one of the things you learn in the Living Values program is patience. Now imagine if you look up livingvalues.net, you'll find a character development program that is so effective that there has been 90% reduction in violence at a refugee camp in Thailand within 2 years of its implementation. 2 years. So what is it that we should do? Get living values into schools, get it into businesses, get it into the prisons, get it into all aspects of life. Because right now people don't trust their politicians. They don't trust some of the media, and that's just sadly understandable. You can look at a documentary that's called The Social Dilemma and understand why you don't trust all the media. But we can seek the truth.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
How do we get him out of here?
Kurt, I'm sorry. I'm extremely sorry. Now you're going through the flow, but I'm going through the tunnel. Right now I'm at the subway. So the spin's gonna stop again. So let's close close today's link, and then we'll continue 7 to 9 up to 17th of July, 7 to 9 Pacific time. Thank you
Yes.
so much, God. Again, God bless you, brother. You know, I
Thank
think
you.
you are amazing, man. You know, the way you took today's session, man, I'm proud of you, man. Really.
Thank you
God
very
bless
much
you.
for being here. I'm sorry we had that little
Take
interruption. But
care.
guess
Thank you
what?
so
We
much.
get to bless that person who needs more blessing and love.